Hello and welcome to Knit and Crochet, and my name's Carolyn and I live on the Gold Coast in Robina, Queensland, Australia. And welcome to this episode. This is episode number 5. Last time I recorded was about 3 years ago, so it's been a little while. I have done other recordings this year, but technology failure, couldn't transfer it over, lots of little problems, so it's one of those things. And yes, it is recording. Hello, it's Sunday afternoon here, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And every now and then I get distracted because Petey, our assistant dog that we're raising, he is currently outside chewing some bark he found. He's a bit bored with isolation, so we can't take him out for as many walks. But Rod's taken him out for a big walk this morning, and he's had a swim in the lake and chasing sticks that he's rode through. So yeah, he's been pretty well spoiled so far for getting out of the house. Rod's the only one that can walk out the house at the moment because I am currently still wearing a moon boot. I will be going back to the fracture clinic tomorrow, so it's keeping fingers crossed that it all will come off and I get back to life as normal and get some exercising done. Excuse me. A bit of water and orange juice. Anyway, so this episode is going to be hopefully not too long. I'm going to call it Are There Too Many Whips That One Can Have? And I'm not going to mention about one that's sitting right behind me in the corner. That's got to be over 20 years. I started that when my father was alive. And he passed away in the same year that Princess Diana died. She passed away, I think, in the June, July, and he passed away in December. So we won't talk about that one for a while. So anyway, so I'll just go on and show you a couple of things I've finished. Been a bit slow with the knitting lately. Well, one thing is that we've been travelling a bit from Christmas to January. But I did have finished off some things I took away. So this thing is the raspberry sorbet. No, raspberry croissant. Sure. And I'll put this all in my show notes, which will be appearing on my blog. And this is one of the Peyton's summer swirls I used. One of the colourways there. And I had a very small amount left, and I would have liked to have made tassels. But to put on this. But I did use this because I finished this on New Year's Day while we were still in Adelaide. And the weather down there was quite cool, so I did use that quite a bit. And that's cotton and acrylic. It was yarn that I had in the shop. And the shop is no more at this stage. I will have some yarn that I will be putting into Etsy, and some bags I've been making. They are going to be listed in Etsy very shortly. So the other thing I want to show you is these socks are the socks by Helen Stewart, and I just forget the name, so I'm just looking it up. This is from Sock Event number 2. And these are the Honeybee Dance socks. And this is yarn that I dyed. And I just made them shorties. So I've only just put in one pattern. And then down there. And this here is some leftover yarn I had from Gum Blossoms yarn, sock yarn, from our project. But I love this pattern. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So stitch here. And I have worn these socks before, and I just love this pattern. It's lovely. So thank you to Helen Stewart for that, for Curious Handmade. That's the second thing I finished. The third thing I finished, and it took me for most of the month of February, is the Adira top by Truly Metal Designs, Libby Johnson. And I'm not really happy with this. I don't really like it. It's a bit too short, it's too big. It was an interesting yarn to knit. I've never knitted with this yarn before. And I have some yarn left over. I have a skein left over. And this is the Shibui Knits Twig. In their, what's the colourway again? Tango. Love the colour. But I will be going ahead and frogging that and making something else. Which is a pity, but it's just, I'm not happy with it. So that's the things I've got on the go. So, that I have finished, sorry. Current projects on the needles are quite a few, I'm afraid. So why don't I just start very quickly with this one. This is an advent calendar by Esme Crick. I think she's also known as Red Sparrow Crochet, I can't remember. And this was in the Simply Crochet magazine. I forget which one it was. But that will be also in my show notes. And I'm using for that some yarn I had in the shop. And it will be in all these colourways here. Can't bundle them all together. There's just 4 of those. Now, I started doing this pattern because I couldn't find the pattern originally. Those 4. And started to and that's 2. So there's 10 colours there. So I decided in the end that I found where the pattern was, and I decided in the end to go ahead and make this up according to pattern instructions, which was much easier. But I did design this myself, just going by the photograph. And they're the first 2 squares. So it's nice bright pastel shades. And this is Debbie Bliss Cashmerino tonals. So it's wool and cashmere. And I think it's got a little bit of acrylic. Yes, it's got acrylic in there as well. So it's 55 wool, 33 acrylic, and 12 cashmere. Hi, and welcome back. It's been a few days since I started this podcast. So I'm just now come back. I've got a fresh cup of tea. It's now Wednesday afternoon, 9 minutes past 3 in the afternoon. And I have now completed a pair of little socks. This gorgeous little lilac colour, soft lavender. And it shows up blue. It's more pink than this. That's not showing up in our delight, but anyway. So that's an FO, and I'll be casting on in this sand colour, and into the newborn socks, but I'll be doing the cable version. So that's next on the needles for those. Then after that I'll do the baby socks by Kate Atherley, and these are also top down socks, and she does also newborn 6 months, 9 to 12 months. So I'm going to do 6 months ones, and then leave it at that because the baby should be through winter by then. So I'll probably do a couple of pair of those. So back on track. The one I'm going to talk about next is the whips I've got outstanding, and there's still one I haven't actually recorded down in my blogger account, and that happens to be the Winter Rose socks by Helen Stewart. Sorry, I had just a mental blank then. So this is as far as I've got. I had finished one sock, but I made the foot too long. Now I'll probably end up gifting these socks because to my niece-in-law for winter. She's about the same shoe size as I am, and because I prefer now shorter socks to wear, and also too they have the twisted rib. I've just put this onto, because I needed mine to DPNs at the time, onto a 9-inch circular, and I can't use these. These just make my hands cramp. Even though I've got small hands, I just can't use them. So that is whip 1. So that's what I've been sitting on the back burner. And that's in, I used to have these bags in my shop, the Walks ones, and I lined them in gold cotton, and that's the pouch I have made to match. I generally like to, when I make up pouches, make up a small notice pouch to go in them, even though I do put pockets in them as well, which are very handy for patterns. But that's what I do now. I have got in this bag, which I had received some Christmas presents in a couple of years ago from some lovely ladies, my Circus Tonic handmade advent calendar for last year, and it's this is the Helen Stewart Habitation Throw from her last year's knit event. So we're starting from dark purple right through to yellow and pink, and I've turned the corner and I'm into the blues, and I'm now on to day 22 I think, or 21, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 colours, so yeah, so I'm on 21. So going into the purple greys. So that's what I do when I'm sitting watching TV, because I know that pattern by heart now, and I enjoy missing that one. It's very addictive, that one. A long whip that's been long outstanding is the Happy Potamus by Heidi Bears. And I'm just scrolling through here, so I'm being not really well prepared, but I've actually got it all written down in my show notes on my Blogger account. And all I have managed to do of this is I had started centre of another African flower, one complete African doll, just about complete, and then another one. And the colourways are all done in the Peyton's Peyton or Merino 4-ply yarn, and these are the 4 colours. These are 50-gram balls, and they're 195 metres on each. And that's the colourway for my Happy Potamus. Happy Hippo. So that's in my Easter Bunny bag that I made from last year. All sold out now in the shop. But it's just a pouch bag. And it's holding that project. And that's done on a 2mm hook. Now, you've seen that over now. Over here on my ironing board, I have got several more projects. So I'll just grab one as I go. This is the Nature Walk cow that I'm well and truly behind. This is a lovely bag gifted to me by Phil and Ellie when I was in Greece last year. Nice heavy duck fabric. And this I have done only so far. This wasn't going to be a Christmas present last year, but never happened. And I'm just crocheting this up, and it's the, as I said, it was the Nature's Walk cow by Sandra of Cherry Heart. And I'm using the Dreamtime Merino 8-ply, 50-gram balls with 100 metres. And this was yarn that was just sitting in a shop that I hadn't sold. And so far I've only done two 2 squares. So, and she does 8 in each, so I'll do 6 and see how I go, but I should have enough yarn there to do probably the 8 squares, but this will be the throw. So that's where I'm up to. So that's going to be a Christmas present. So I'll probably pick that up a bit more closer to winter. The next one is my 2018 daily temperature rug. And this is the book I've been crocheting out of the, just let's grab a ball here, if it's not tangled. There we go. Peyton's Cotton Blend 8 ply. This is 50% cotton and 50% acrylic, and I do still have some of these in the shop. I will be, just let everybody know that I will be listing yarns I didn't sell last year up on my blog account, and also down the track into Etsy. And I also have a variety of things made that you can gift as well. But this is the daily temperature rug, and so it's all vibrant colours. Now the green square, this green square represents the end of the month. So got the last day of the month, then the month's finished, and it's also commencing for the next month. So because I live in Queensland, most of the colours are the reds for summer. Anything that goes into blue is where I travel to, into South Australia or Victoria. The yellows is winter here, which is our temperatures are around 20 degrees in winter. We had a very mild winter that winter as well. And all I'm doing is the traditional granny square, join as you go, 3 rounds for each day. And it's actually quite surprising, quite heavy. So that's where I'm up to, and I'm in August. So I'd like to try and get this finished as soon as I possibly can. But I still have some baby things that I wish to make. The next thing I want to show is the Elias cardigan by Isabel Kramer, and I have got the body finished here, and yeah. So the pockets are done. I just have to sew them down the sides, the pockets. Nice cable detail down the side there as well, and down the side here. And cable detail on the front of side of the pocket. So it's a nice one. This yarn I'm using is what I purchased back in 2012 when my mum had her heart operation. I ordered some Joe Sharp yarn, and this is in the Alpaca Kid luster. Now I had started another pattern at the time, but I think when you try 3 times to get the lace pattern detail right and it still doesn't work, it's either the pattern or you, and I think it was me. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that because it's design I'm still fighting around with. The other project I was trying to start before Christmas is in this bag I made for Easter time. This is the Peyton's lace jacket. It's crocheted, and I don't know, I swatched for it, and I'm doing it in black in the Regal 4-ply cotton, and it's a mercerized cotton, and it's lovely to crochet and lovely to knit with. Made a little pouch for it to go in the green, because everything's orange spotty. And I'm using these pretty little stitch markers. One of them is actually a little chocolate rabbit, and then these other stitch markers were gifted to me through a wool sock swap. And I think I've got a little carrot somewhere as well, but that's probably done. But there it is, there's the little carrot. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that because it seems bigger than what it should be. But I think I might just press on and see how it goes. But see what happens then. Then the final bag I've got to show you, I think that's pretty well all it. I've done the Candy Cod advent calendar the other day. Newborn baby socks are now a finished object. Happy Potamus Hippo, Habitation Throw, Elias, Lacey Jacket, Daily Temperature Rug, Nature's Walk, and the final thing to show you is the Bantam Shawl by Denise Ramsey. Now, this is, I had purchased a couple of years ago the 12-day advent calendar by Willow and the Wisp. And these are just not quite big enough balls. I think they're 20-gram balls. Whereas my Habitation Throw, they're 25-gram balls. And the Habitation Throw, no, they're 20-gram balls as well. But Deanna designed this on the 25-gram balls from Dingo Dye Works. So I don't have enough to finish off each section to give you this lovely colour variation here. So I might end up going through my stash because I had gone through and pulled out from my stash all the blues that I had left over to be used in it, because you use 2 balls of yarn in the blue. This is Dingo Dye Works. This is left over from Rosehip Island shawl I done, and this is my own colour that I dyed. So I'm thinking of frogging what I've done and rethinking all that again, because it just couldn't get the pattern right. I was probably in the wrong headspace when I was trying to do this last year. But we'll see. This is also one of the bags I had made. I made a matching pouch, pockets in there as well, and a travel bag. I still have more of this fabric, so I might actually make just a couple of tote bags and that to go in the shop as well. So that's pretty well it for, and then I raced through that a little bit, but the Elias cardigan's been the longest of the needles at the moment, as compared to anything else I've got here. Second longest is probably the winter socks, the winter rose socks. In this bag I do have a secret test knit, so I can't show you that. All I can do is show you that I am knitting it in this colour in the Regal Cotton 4-ply. And it's a design for Trudy Myrtle. So keep an eye out for that. I think that's probably something coming up this winter. I think that's pretty well it. You don't want to see that. So that's that. We're keeping sane here for COVID. Just take a sip of tea. Just made some French Earl Grey. I've got a chicken on the stove where I'm actually steaming it, and then on a slow simmer. And I'm doing a Jo Whitten recipe. She's a lady who lives up in Cairns for Quirky Cooking, and what she does is that she steams it, takes it out of the stock, so you've got a nice stock for soups and then and sauces. Then she puts the roast chicken into a tray and covers it with a bit of oil, some more salt and pepper, and then roasts it in the hot oven for about 25 to 30 minutes and gets a nice crispy skin, but the breast and everything is very tender. Because Rob bought me a really large bird, so it's probably about a 2 kilo chicken, and so that's on steaming at the moment in the background. Petey's doing well. He's had a He's got an operation last couple of weeks ago, and he's recovered well from that. He's putting on weight because he's still growing. He's going to be a big dog. Well, we don't know what's happening at the moment with him, when he goes down to Sydney or not, because all the dogs have been taken out of the kennels down in Sydney, and so they'll be with the trainers because of the COVID. So that's pretty well it. I mean, I've been getting onto International Virtual Knit Nights. We're hosted by Phil and Elaine, and that's been great. Look forward to those meetings because, you know, you can't even go and pop out to the shops just to do casual, oh, I think I might go shopping today and have a look around the shops. And the can't go out for dinner. Still can do takeaways, which is good. We had takeaway from our local Italian the other night, and that was lovely. Saved me from cooking because I'm going a bit stir crazy at cooking. I mean, I've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's only 2 of us here, but you know, he was still got to stop what I was crafting on. Or watching or reading or something like that to go and feed us. And take the dog for a toilet walk. I have started sewing again. I have tried to fix up and redirected my website again. For some reason, something happened to that. So hopefully what I've done's worked. It was to do with the DNS, and I just thought, just check to see what the DNS is on my Blogger account. So hopefully it all worked and it's pointing the right way. And so that from now on, again, it should point to my Blogger account, my domain name. And so I'll have my little shop up there, and I will have my blog as well, so you'll be able to see things there. And what I'm going to do is that if you wish to buy anything off the shop area there, just message me, and then I'll work out postage and handling. International postage at the moment is dodgy because of the fact that there's not the planes going over across, so it may pay to, if you are interested and you are watching this from overseas, just let me know, and I can put the product aside and we'll see how we go. But I know that even international mail going between overseas countries still very tentative at this stage. Otherwise, it'll be mainly here in Australia that I'll be able to do all the postage for without any problems, because Australia Post is still working and deliveries are still being made, and I believe that sometimes they're even delivering on weekends due to the fact of high demand of everybody being home and shopping online. Well, that's probably about it at the moment. I'm in the process of doing baby knits. As in my regard to what I'm going to be doing, you can go and have a look at my queue on my Ravelry page. But my next thing on my list is the Twinkle Twinkle Baby Blanket by Helen Stewart as well, and I'm going to be doing that with some Debbie Bliss yarns in the purple colour, which is that colour, so that'll be nice, soft and squishy. I am contemplating doing the Love and Hearts hat by Susan Anderson. I'm not sure yet for the baby socks I'm doing at the moment. There's a bunny rabbit wall hanging, and I'll be doing in the Peyton's cotton yarn blend. There is the Baby Angelus that I've got pattern for by Renee Callahan, and it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to work out what colour I'm going to do that in. So it is for a 5-ply, so it's probably one of these colours here that I've got aside. Being a little girl, I think the pink might be just a bit too bright, I'm not sure yet. Might be a bit hot pink. If I had a pastel pink, I'm not sure, it'd probably be better. Or I might do it in this lovely colour, the sand colour. So I might do it in that. Don't know yet, but I think it'll look very nice in that. Then there's the Itty Bitty Bear Cubs hat by Carolyn Ingram. It's got little ears there, but I think I like the shape of the hat, and I might swap the ears out for pom-poms. So, and then there's a baby rabbit cushion which I might make to match the rabbit hanging. So there's a few things that I've got on the list. And then there's this particular arrowhead pattern that I had put down. So I don't know if I do that or not. It's not in my library, so I might give that one a miss. But it's in my queues. But another baby's pattern that I just downloaded that's in my library, which is a free pattern, which is the Verd cardigan by Unit in Toronto. And it's a free rubber. It's got a long tail cast on, and she goes from size 3 months to a child of 4 years of age. So I may do that, but I don't know yet. But I think probably just one. It's done in 8 ply. How many DK? But I might forego that too. But I don't know at this stage. I probably just do the one cardigan. Cardigan, a hat, some socks, a blanket, a wall hanging, and a cushion. Yep. Then the baby's due 4th of July? No, 7th of July. So I've got to get my skates on and get that done. So any of these whips that I showed you today will be done after I've done some baby stuff. But I do have to do more work on this. So I'll probably have a break from baby socks at the moment and go ahead and do some work on that this afternoon while I'm cooking dinner. So that's probably about it for today. It's been nice chatting to you everyone, and hopefully this video will work. Who knows? And yeah. Oh, and just one other thing I need to mention, I am also hosting here in Australia at the moment on Saturday afternoons from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock for 3 hours, a meeting. So I'm trying different formats. I have been using Zoom, but the next one's Google Meets, so we'll see how we go with that. At the moment it's only about 4 or 5 ladies pop on, so slowly it will probably grow, and yeah, hopefully it all works out, and yeah, it's just, you know, some Aussie ladies getting together and doing a bit of knitting, a bit of chatting, and yeah, it's great to catch up with everyone. So keep an eye out on my blogger account, which is To Knit and Crochet. Currently at the moment it's blogspot.com, otherwise it's toknitandcrochet.com.au, and yeah, see how we go, and I'll pop some things in my Etsy shop, which is also To Knit and Crochet, and I'm on Instagram as To Knit and Crochet, and you can find me on Ravelry as Bootsy1. And so everybody stay well, stay safe, and yeah, stay hot. Okay, it's a good boy waiting for your breakfast.